Well, welcome guys to Hollerween 2020. We're going to kick off the Pinnacle Entertainment question and answer panel, and hopefully we'll get to all your questions. Joining us on screen is Shane Hensley himself up top.
Did you just call us Pineapple Entertainment?
No, Pinnacle? I don't know. I mean, this is water. I swear. There is nothing else but just ice and water in here. We've got Simon.
Hi.
We've got Jess and Jody. Shane, why don't you lead us off with what's coming in the new year for Pinnacle Entertainment?
Okay, coming in the next year or the next few months from Pineapple Entertainment. Well, there's a lot, my friends. In case you haven't seen them, we've been doing 32 pagers for a while, and there's quite a few of those that are out that you might not have seen. And we did Ripper's Amazon Expedition. Ripper's South Pacific Expedition just shipped. Dawn of the Daikaiju is out, which is super cool. You actually get to play the giant monsters. We did a monster book with his Savage Tales in it for ETU. What's the other one, Jess? Last Parsec. We did Salvager's Guide. I'm missing one, Jess. What was it?
Well, we have one that's not. We have a couple that aren't out yet.
The Juggernaut.
Yeah, but we've got 50 Fathoms, and yeah.
Oh, and 50 Fathoms, right.
50 Fathoms.
Written by Daryl Hayhurst, who I think is lurking out there in the darkness somewhere. So those are all out already, and if you haven't seen them, I highly recommend them. We print those in the U.S. They come out really quickly, but we don't send them to stores because they're more of a magazine format kind of thing. So you have to get them directly from us. Of course, the PDFs are out there as well. So those are some products that are already out that you might have missed. So let's talk about what's coming. Of course, everybody's most interested in the companions, right? So we've mentioned before that we're working on the 4 core companions at the same time. We don't think we're going to release them at the same time, but they're being worked on at the same time so that everything is compatible. For example, the Stronghold rules in the Fantasy Companion are pretty cool. I think you'll really like them. And we have analogs in Horror, Sci-Fi, and Supers. If you're wondering about the Martial Arts Companion, we're going to do that after we reissue the 4 core ones. Okay. So Fantasy is pretty much rewritten from the ground up. I took a lot of the best ideas Wiggy had, updated them to not only our new system, but kind of our new way of thinking about things. So there's a lot of really cool stuff in there. I think it's the book you've been looking for those of you who want to do everything from Game of Thrones to dungeon crawls. So pretty excited about that. We also hope to be doing pawns for the Fantasy Companion and all of our companions coming out. If you haven't seen them, we did pawns for the newest Deadlands set that we kickstarted recently and is at the printer now. Simon has been in charge of doing that, and we're going to do those for a couple of things coming down the pipe. For example, we have a source book and adventure also written by Daryl Hayhurst called The Legend of Ghost Mountain that I have been stewing on since Kung Fu Panda came out, so it's been a while. And we play tested it recently. It was fantastic. I posted a little bit of that on Facebook, and right now we believe that's going to be one of our thin box sets. Actually, Simon, can you hold up Headstone Hill? And can somebody switch over to Simon? There you go. So these are kind of the size of the old Alcadine boxes that TSR used to do, if anybody's familiar with those. They're the same height as our other box sets, so they'll fit very nicely on the shelf. That looks a little washed out, by the way, because those are production copies. Those aren't the print copies. The color's much sharper on the actual print copies. And Simon's going to talk more about those in just a minute. But anyway, Legend of Ghost Mountain will have this source book adventure and pawns in it. We're also working on a set for Flash Gordon that will have pawns in it. And an adventure written by Scott Woodard, who of course wrote the Flash Gordon source books. We're also, Daryl, you've been doing a lot of stuff. Daryl also wrote Necessary Evil 3, which we're super excited about. We all play tested this. Oh my gosh, when was it, guys? Last March we finished? It's been a while.
Yeah, I thought it was January this year we finished. Just feels like last March.
This year has just gone on forever. That's
I guess so. We actually started before the pandemic hit, and we finished it on Roll20 afterwards. And it was just a blast. And I think everyone can agree probably the best character was mine. Who can resist the black hole? So Necessary Evil 3 is called Cosmic Crisis, and this is our cosmic level source book and plot point campaign for Supers, which of course will come out sometime after the new Supers Companion comes out with all the amended and updated powers. And it is a Jack Kirby, Guardians of the Galaxy, Steranko love fest. You know, if you watch the original or read the original Thanatos novels or any graphic novels or any of that kind of stuff, you'll find this very familiar ground, very exciting. There's even kind of a Green Lantern and Nova Corps in there, and yes, you could still be the bad guys and some of the good guys. So East Texas University Study Abroad. So Jess, tell us about that.
Okay, so ETU Study Abroad, it's kind of exactly what it sounds. You would take your students overseas to see other countries. So instead of just being in plain old Texas, well, in creepy and mysterious Texas, you're going to be in creepy and mysterious other countries. And the 4 major countries are Italy, Costa Rica, Poland, and the UK. What's really, really cool about this one is that we collaborated with people who actually lived there. So the authors of each section are actually from those countries. I really like that because in the beginning of each section, you're going to learn a little bit about the country and the culture, and that makes the viewpoint of the authors like really important because you're getting a really good source for that information.
We've taken John Goff's Blood Drive PDFs, his trilogy of adventures that you might have seen a few years ago. We're updating those, and we're going to print them in a hardback format with a couple of cool extras. So you'll see that coming soon. We're also going to do regional source books for Deadlands. So we've got 4 authors working on Deadlands, Hell on the High Plains, which will be the next big source book release for Deadlands. Okay, so speaking of Deadlands, Simon, tell us where we are on the production.
Okay, so production's going great. Everything is at the printers, is being printed. I'm surrounded by proof sheets and samples, and as you saw the Headstone Hill box earlier on. We also have the box for the pawn set, which is Shane talked about earlier, and then the core box for Deadlands. And as Shane mentioned, these are all low-res proof copies just to make sure that everything lines up, all the text is correct. The production printing is far more vivid. We've got a near production copy of the action deck right here, and you can see it's much more colorful, much richer color. And I'll take a few of these out. You can see this is our action deck, and it is like
nice.
Right has been doing some sweet pictures for the face cards, and then everything else is kind of a glossy black with some bright color on it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Simon, can you hold that box up again and show them how it opens? So for those who don't know, we do the telescopic box now. So it's really nice and easy to get your stuff out. It's not the old tuck boxes that we used to do, where you would often tear the box when you were trying to get your cards out.
I was tasked with showing you the shiny, and the shiniest thing we have is something that we spend a long time getting right. This is our Marshal's badge.
Woo!
Check that out.
Dropping the badge out. So we've got our bennies.
Nice.
More Cheyenne Wright artwork.
Yeah.
Trying not to catch the light. Where's
Yep.
my camera going to focus?
There.
Yeah. A little hard to see those, but bennies are. We've got used to making those, so we're good at that. The core box is going to have this nice blood red wild eye with the skull motif on it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And then one thing that wasn't mentioned in the Kickstarter actually, but we managed to put it in anyway, is that the Headstone Hill box set will also have a custom wild eye. If I can open the bag, I'll show you. We didn't announce it because we weren't sure we could fit everything in the box, but we managed to make it work. And so there's a little headstone on the bottom that's coming with that set too.
That looks really good.
Headstone Hill, that is a box I'm really excited about. It's this It's a nice thin format, but it's going to be absolutely crammed with stuff, as you can see on the back. It's going to have the main book, a thin player booklet, and a ton of other material as well.
Maps, handouts, pawns.
We have the 2 sets of cards that come with it. So there's 4 more archetypes in there, in addition to the ones that come in the main set. There's also the set of pawns that Shane was talking about. So this is 1 sheet that comes with Headstone Hill.
Front and back.
Front and back, yeah.
Yeah.
The pawns box set has 8 sheets that size in it, so it's
And that's not the paper that they'd be printed on. They'll be sturdy cardstock when they're done. That's just the proof.
Cardboard.
Comes with proof.
Cardboard,
Yeah. And then there's also a whole set of handouts that are included. So there's newspaper cuttings, telegraphs, photo, and each one of those is printed on a different kind of weight of paper. So there's a whole range of different feels to each of the handouts, I'm looking forward to seeing how those all turn out. The main box itself also includes our archetype cards. We've got a whole bunch of those, and then there's the core book, which we have the proof of the covers here of the 3 books that were in the Kickstarter. There's the core book, some gorgeous Aaron Riley art, and then we have the solo book, which has the Crater Lake Chronicle solo adventure, and then finally the Weird West Companion. Which, you can see the spot varnish is catching the light a little bit there as well. I forgot to mention we have the GM screen as well.
Yeah.
Love that art.
That art is so amazing.
I think we're about 2 months behind. Does that sound right, Jody? Maybe 3 almost?
Yeah, 2 months sound right. Yeah.
Somewhere between 2 and 3. So we are a little behind. But, I think that it's beautiful. It's well-proofed. We're very proud of the quality you're going to get. We hate when anything's late. But, a couple of months, given all that's been going on in the world, we're not going to cry about it.
I forgot one other thing that I really am looking forward to seeing, which is our map packs.
Yeah.
So that one's
Those
still
are
sealed.
always so handy.
This is what they'll look like. Again, that's more kind of the production color, so you can see how rich the color is. Inside, there's like a little town layout, tells you what the buildings are. And then the maps themselves are these large laminated, nice and sturdy. You can write on them.
Look at that. It's gorgeous. Wait till you see the detail. Jonathan Taylor did the artwork. Simon put it all together. It works great with miniatures or the new pawns. We think you're going to love it. Everything you need to play is in here now. You have it at your fingertips.
Then this is the Norse Foundry die roll.
Ooh, isn't that pretty? Yes, that will hold more than just our set of dice. I'll be quick to point out, but yeah, that's from Norse Foundry that we've been working with to get that together, and the metal dice too.
And we don't have the metal dice yet, right?
No.
I do not know.
Some of you have asked about Deadlands Dark Ages. That is going to be either later next year or the year after. So John Goff's working on it. We've been playing it for a while, but we have some other big stuff we need to get done first, like the companions, and make sure that everything's compatible. So it's coming. It's going to be amazing. John Goff wrote it.
For the people who come to our website, and especially people who are new to Savage Worlds and are trying to figure out what products do I need to get into it, everything requires that core rules book. Is that right? Or, where's the test drive rules, which we just released this past week? If you haven't found them yet, they're on our main page. Go try them out. What we wanted to do is to rethink our process of bringing people into our game. So we are redesigning the website. That's a project I've kind of been heading up. And that's, I've got no timeline to give you because 2020 and especially the election have kind of turned us topsy-turvy. So I don't have anything that I can say about it other than it's really exciting for us. It's going to look great. It should be so much easier to navigate. It's going to be a little bit more product forward rather than news forward. So if you aren't already a member of our newsletter list, go ahead and sign up, because that way, like you do now, you could get that email directly to your to your inbox. and you'll get the news every single week. The web team that we're working with is creating a new plugin just for us. They are designing it from the ground up, and it's going to be a crowdsourcing plugin on our own site. So now this is not replacing Kickstarter. Don't worry about that. We're still going to use Kickstarter for really big projects like the big Deadlands lines and anything that we want to draw a whole lot of attention to. But we can't but so many Kickstarters in a year, and it's really slowing down our production process. So if we can have our own crowdsourcing on our own page, similar to what they did recently with like Hasbro's page, right? That I thought went fantastic. So I can't think of the name of the game right now. It's just escaping my mind. HeroQuest, yeah. So if you saw their HeroQuest crowdfunding on their site, it's kind of going to be a little bit like that, where you can come to our site and say, yes, I absolutely want the next thing that's coming out from Pinnacle. Sign me up. You'll get that, and you'll be in the queue to get it. And, you know, and we already get that funding ahead of time like we do with the Kickstarter, but it's not being managed by Kickstarter. It's not limited by Kickstarter to how many projects you can do.
So our next source book for Rifts is Atlantis, and Sean wanted me to share that it will include tattoo magic, reams of biowizardry, and undersea equipment, comparable in scope to the player's guide itself, the true Atlantean race, the tattooed warrior framework, stone master framework, etc. The book's plot point campaign deals with the heroes leading a slave revolt in Atlantis and making tough decisions as the vile minions of Splugorth attempt to thwart their plans.
Can you say more about the Legend of Ghost Mountain? What is the setting and how will it be released?
So, it's going to be released, we think, in this boxed set, which will have a booklet in it. I'm not sure how many pages yet, somewhere north of 48 to 96. And the pawns, and probably a map inside a thin box like we showed with Headstone Hill.
It'll have cards.
And cards, right, for the archetypes. The setting is, you are the Ghost Wardens. You and the other player characters have undergone training in a test to become the guardians of the portal to the underworld. And something goes wrong, and not only are you the guardians of it, of course, you're the ones that have to fix it when things go wrong. So let's see, I don't want to give away the plot. One of the cool things is, besides the setting itself, and it's Ghost Mountain is where this portal is. It's this remote mountain fortress where there's a giant Stargate looking kind of thing, and souls go in and out of it. And as Ghost Wardens, you can see that and know what's going on. But one of the really neat things about the characters is, rather than doing like Mantis School or Monkey School or something for your fighting, your key powers are actually based on emotions. So you might follow the path of sorrow or the path of joy and so on, and there are cool little powers that go with that. So I think we've taken the tropes of martial arts movies in this, the supernatural martial arts movies in this vein, and added something cool and new that I haven't seen before. And of course, Daryl Hayhurst wrote it, and Daryl is the biggest enthusiast of this stuff in the world.
Ooh, any chance of giving us, perhaps within a quarter, of when the companions are expected?
So fantasy will certainly be first quarter. Supers and horror are pretty much done. Sci-fi companion was redone by Sean Roberson, who does Rifts, and it really just needs, I need to go through it and make sure that it syncs up with everything else, but they're all in pretty good shape. We leave the monsters for last, and those are big chunks of the book, and they take a long time because there's so many of them. So when I say they're almost done and you go crazy and say, well, why don't you release them? We still have to do the monsters. We still have to edit them. We're getting all new art that we own this time. The art in the original companions and toolkits was generally second use stuff, which worked fine for the time. But we have a theme now, and Red and Gabe will be making their reappearance in each, and there will indeed be something special at the end of each book with Red and Gabe. That's already plotted out, so I think you'll like it.
What is the future support for Lancmar?
We have a 32-pager in the works for that right now. That is it for the moment. We're kind of waiting to see some things with the estate and other stuff that's happening with the property, but not a whole lot other than the 32-pager right now.
On the Savage Cruise, you mentioned that Pinnacle was going to explore a different crowdfunding platform than just Kickstarter. Do you want to talk about?
Well, we've looked at several. We have friends that run their own, and we like those too, but we like being in control as much as we can. Some of the stuff you'll see coming from us in other venues, we're going to do ourselves just because we're tired of waiting on people to publish our fiction, for example. That's why we do our own Wendigo tales. Same thing with crowdfunding. Even though there's some great choices out there like Game On from Black Book Editions, good friends of ours, we're still going to do our own, so we control it, set it up, do everything ourselves. That's where our future is right now.
Oh, Tyler Childers wants to know, when's the Savage Pizza arriving? we did not get this event catered. Sorry, Tyler.
Yeah, send me one.
Right? Like, Holler. What is expected for Holler? What are we looking at on coming out? When's the Kickstarter maybe? What's going to be in the box?
Okay, so Holler will be a traditional box set, much like Lost Colony or Deadlands. It'll have the book, screen, bennies, pawns, archetype cards, dice. What else, Simon? Anything else?
You got it all. That was it.
That'll be it. Well, we're going to do the whole kit and caboodle. Our next Wendigo Tales actually leads off with Holler as well.
Any other secrets you guys want to reveal on what's coming up?
I think one of our biggest secrets is right in front of us right now. It's engaging Chris, Dustin, and Chelsea in running the games that they've been doing for us. What other cons besides Hollerween, Chris?
So the next one that's coming up is we're going to support Andy Hopp's con Off the Cob, and God, in this last few months we've done 6 or 7. I think we did 2 cons in the UK. We did a bunch of domestic cons. So if you guys are out there and you're running an event, get in touch with us at Savage Worlds Online, and we'll try to help you guys promote. Try to give you some support from Pinnacle, and just recognize that you're out there. Just we see you. And get you guys in the loop on what's running. We have plans to go to Deadwood that are still on the table. We actually talked with the hotel today. They called us up and were very eager to see if we'd be joining them in 2021. And that's actually exciting since we canceled this year, but we actually are able to hook up with the Doomtown folks this next year. So we're going to coordinate with them on a date. So we'll have Doomtown and Savage Worlds in Deadwood at some point. And just got to figure out when is safe and when is fun. And now we know that we definitely have to do the mine tour because Shane is scared of dark, cold, claustrophobic spaces. And but rootin' tootin' good time, like go on horseback riding, just do other kind of Western fun stuff there besides Savage Worlds, and just kind of be a little more community of event, versus just all at the table. Because we love the games, but it's fun to do a little bit more and meet you guys. Obviously, Savage Cruise, we're going to be looking about getting on a boat again, and then also other kind of destination trips that are fun. But also kind of going back and looking at what are the big conventions in the country, and how can we support them? It takes a lot of work to put on a Savage Saturday night, and dealing with those conventions is a job in and of itself. It's very hard to get attention at something like a Gen Con. And so if that's still viable, we'll find a way. If it's not, we'll find another way to figure out where can we get you guys and meet you where you're at and where you want to play.
In essence, what we're trying to do is find places where you guys and gals can actually play the game, right? So right now, it's tough to get together in person for a lot of people, of course. So online is big, but we think online is big forever, right? Especially, we're not Dungeons and Dragons. It's not instant to find a group in your hometown. But we're up there in the top 5, I think, a lot of times in most municipalities. And if you can't find local groups, then you can hop online and play either with people just through pickup groups at Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds or whatever. And then we hope to have more curated play, like we've done this weekend. So you can get on and play some Deadlands or run your crazy Savage Willy Wonka or whatever coolness you've got in mind.
Now that Suede has some miles under the tires, is there anything that doesn't play the way you thought it would or are considering tweaking?
Yes, we're going to update the stun rules. We're going to make them a little easier to get unstunned. So you'll see that errata either next week or the week after. It's not a huge change, but we're gonna reduce it just a little bit, relax it a little bit.
Deadlands Dark Ages. Do you know what quarter we're looking at for that one coming up?
I think it's going to be, probably about this time next year.
There is now a Savage Worlds category on Twitch, and because the con crew is looking at broadcasting these events on Twitch, we're paying a little more attention on that. So if you have a Savage Worlds stream, get in contact with us. We will support you. We've got a bunch of new friends who've just logged on, but the PEG Twitch is twitch.tv/PEGInc, PEGINC. And I think we've gone from 0 to 100 and some followers in the first day. And so that's great. Keep that up, guys. Yeah, so if you guys are putting out Savage Worlds content, get in touch with us, savageworldsonline@gmail.com. And so we know how to support you. We'll host you on the channel when we're not running content. And we'll find ways of, bringing you into our events and helping promote you guys too, because, we like to raise all ships. So last big question. What are any upcoming Weird Wars products?
That one I'm not going to answer just yet. There won't be anything in 2021. After that, there is a plan. But we have so much coming in 2021, we're just not going to be able to fit it. And we're going to make an announcement in January that's just going to knock people's socks off. But we don't want to talk about that now because this weekend is Hollerween, right? And it's all about Tim Early's Holler. And that's what we want to make sure everybody knows about because it's one of those properties that it's not a license, right? It's not something we already know about. And Tim's got such a great, unique, cool spin on it. We really want people to see it, see what it's about. We believe in it. That's why it is a license. We licensed it, but it's not a known license. And we'll tell you more about other stuff next year. Weird Wars, however, you won't see anything new until 2022.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.